Dear ChatGPT, make me an Etsy millionaire in just 1 year. The tips ChatGPT gave me are, so I kept pushing for more answers and I finally got it. Okay, wait, ChatGPT is totally wrong here. We are going to compare what ChatGPT suggests to become an Etsy millionaire versus what I would recommend as an Etsy seller with over $1 million in sales and 43,000 items sold in my print-on-demand Etsy shop. And by the end of the video, we'll decide who the winner is. Okay, who are we kidding? How can I beat AI? In my first prompt, I didn't ask for specifics yet, but ChatGPT gave me 8 suggestions. Let's dive into the first suggestions ChatGPT gave us. Becoming an Etsy millionaire in just 1 year is an ambitious goal that typically requires a combination of strategic planning, hard work, and a bit of luck. Here are steps that could potentially increase your chances. And I don't disagree that it's ambitious. Certainly, planning, hard work, and luck are all elements. Now, number 1, I definitely agree with. Unique product or niche that has high demand but limited competition. Conduct market research to identify trends and gaps in the market. Unique, high quality, and well-priced items can attract customers. I do think this is the most important aspect of being successful on Etsy. To be successful faster, you definitely need to be unique. It will absolutely be much more difficult if you're selling the exact same thing as everyone else. There are sweatshirts that are flying off the shelves of stores that look like this, and I don't see many other shops that are offering these chenille patch sweatshirts. And according to Sales Samurai, they are extremely highly searched, but yet not a lot of shops offer or are able to offer them. Number 2, quality products and branding. Create high quality products that stand out and build a strong brand around them. Invest in professional product photography, packaging, and branding to attract customers and build trust. Now, absolutely, this goes without saying, but if you want customers who are going to leave you positive 5-star reviews, which help to make your shop go viral, by the way, then of course you're going to need good quality products. Number 3, optimize your Etsy shop. Optimize your Etsy shop by using relative keywords in product titles, descriptions, and tags to improve visibility in search results. Use high resolution images and clear descriptions to entice buyers. Now, interestingly, I think as Etsy sellers, we start to become convinced that if we just have the right keywords and get seen in Etsy search, then our items will magically sell. But this definitely isn't the only aspect of selling successfully on Etsy. So far I would agree that this is the third most important thing, as the product and the uniqueness of the product itself are still the most important aspect and not the keyword. Now, the fourth thing ChatGPT tells us to do to become an Etsy millionaire is marketing and promotion. Utilize social media platforms, influencer partnerships, and targeted advertising to promote your products. Engage with your audience, share behind the scenes stories, and run promotions or giveaways to attract attention. I absolutely agree that marketing is vital to helping you get sales, but I would definitely focus on Etsy ads before trying many of these other suggestions, unless you're already familiar with social media ads and influencer partnerships. But to me, many of these ideas are perhaps better spent on energy promoting your own website, even though selling on Etsy might convince more reluctant buyers to purchase from you. Rolling into number 5, customer service and reviews. ChatGPT says we need to provide excellent customer service to encourage positive reviews and repeat customers. Positive reviews and a good seller reputation can significantly boost sales. I'm sure I'm not the only one to say it, but there's not many customers in 2024 who don't care about reviews at all. Reviews matter. So are your customers still able to see past a poor review? Perhaps, but in my experience, if I have a listing that receives an incredibly poor review, no matter how unjust, it will likely kill the momentum in the listing until it is completely dead. Number 6, scale up production and operations. As your sales grow, consider scaling up production to meet demand efficiently. Streamline operations to handle increased orders effectively without compromising quality. If you have customers that want to buy from you and you can't get them items fast enough, then that's a problem. That is just part of why selling digital items in 2020 and 2021 was so popular, because we could all see the systemic problems with supply chain issues in virtually every area of our lives. Number 7, diversify and expand. Consider expanding your product line or diversifying into related niches to reach a broader customer base. Explore opportunities to sell on other platforms or through your website to increase sales sales channels. Yes, keep adding new products or improving upon products you already have. You might want to open your own website, you might not. Number 8, financial management. Keep track of your finances diligently. Reinvest profits into the business to fuel growth, but also ensure you have a solid financial plan to manage expenses and revenue effectively. Now, of course, this sounds great looking back in retrospect, but if you were just starting out selling on Etsy, you might just be at a point where you're trying to figure out what sells for you, if anything. But sooner than later, you need to figure out how much you are left with after Etsy fees and how much you can afford to spend on Etsy ads or other forms of advertising, or perhaps you need to experiment with lowering your prices or your shipping prices. I'm definitely not saying to give away your items for free, but what if you found out that by lowering your price by only $1, you would receive 30 sales a day instead of 5? Would it be worth it then? Of course, I asked ChatGPT for product ideas, and there's nothing wrong with selling any of these products. And as you'll see, these cover many of the most popular products sold on Etsy, including personalized gifts and print-on-demand products. And this was all fine and good, but personally, I really like specifics over generality because the tips ChatGPT gave me to become an Etsy millionaire in 1 year are super general. So I kept pushing for more answers and I finally got it. Because if I was to explain how to become a millionaire on Etsy, this is what I would tell them. The $1 million question is, how many items do I need to sell per day and at what price? To determine how many items you need to sell per day to reach a $1 million revenue goal within a year, you'll need to perform some calculations and consider several factors. Number 1, the average selling price, ASP. Determine the average price of your products. Let's say your ASP is $50. Number 2, your revenue goal. If your goal is to reach a $1 million revenue in a year, you'd aim for $1 million in sales. Now, here's a simple formula to estimate how many items you need to sell per day. Your daily sales equals your annual revenue goal divided by 365 days. So using the example, daily sales equals $1 million divided by 365 days is approximately $2,740 a day. So you would need to generate approximately $2,740 in sales every day to reach the $1 million target in a year with an ASP of $50. So the number of items to sell daily, your daily sales divided by your ASP, $2,740 divided by $50, approximately 55 items. So you would need to sell 55 items a day at $50 to reach $1 million in a year. However, remember that these calculations are based on ideal scenarios and may not consider additional costs, fees, fluctuations in sales, or seasonal variations. Some days you might sell significantly more than 55 items, other days you might only sell 2. It's crucial to regularly review your progress and adjust your strategies as needed to reach your ambitious target. Achieving consistent daily sales at this level can be challenging and may require aggressive marketing, a strong customer base, and an efficient production and sales strategy. Okay, but now this is huge. Okay, wait, ChatGPT is wrong. To achieve $500,000 in revenue a year selling t-shirts at $25 each, you'd need to sell approximately 1,369 t-shirts per day. I don't think so. But you would need to sell 54.79 t-shirts a day on average at $25 a shirt. So now hopefully this gives you some insight, as I know it helps me to know exactly how many and how much I would have to sell to reach a particular revenue goal. To reach $1 million in sales on Etsy with $50 items in 1 year, I'd have to sell approximately 55 items per day at $2,740 in revenue per day. And if I wanted to make $500,000 a year selling t-shirts at $25 each, I'd have to sell approximately 55 t-shirts a day. This is super helpful because you probably just realized that you have to sell a lot of t-shirts. But let's say you just wanted to get to $100,000 in revenue a year. You would need to average closer to 10 to 15 shirts or items per day at $25 an item. However, what ChatGPT can't quite get right yet, there are a few things you only start to figure out once you own a business, and that's information that ChatGPT can't provide, which is also part of the nuances of personal finance, which is personal. So for example, if you start to take the profits from your Etsy shop and invest these funds in the stock market, in addition to receiving your regular income, or if you wanted to start to pay off credit cards or car loans or student loan debts, then making any extra money at all will certainly make a significant income on your personal finances. If it can start to help you climb out of struggling day to day. I started my Etsy shop to hopefully be able to take a vacation with my family once a year and not overanalyze the impact going on vacation would have on our personal finances as teachers. But I also wanted to invest more in my investment accounts, or perhaps to be able to pay down the mortgage on my house. But instead, I discovered that I can use the expenses of my business as an ability to maximize and leverage the accumulation of credit card rewards toward travel. So we didn't really have to pay for that anymore. So as crazy as it sounds, I don't pay for travel with my family anymore. Now, I'd recommend that with anything in business, you check with an accountant, because this really could change depending on where you live, and laws change all the time. Or if you use your credit card rewards as cash back, then that could be seen as a taxable benefit. But now I can use the profits from my shop to pay down the mortgage and invest, and I don't have to pay for travel. And before I was someone who owned a business, all of my electronics expenses were personal after-tax expenses. So purchasing a $3,000 computer, a phone, felt like the equivalent of having to work for an extra whole month of the year just to pay for these expenses. So while ChatGPT is definitely correct to providing a basic framework and perhaps a few things you shouldn't overlook, there are more nuances of the nitty-gritty of business ownership that you start to discover once you start making sales and being able to go beyond 1 to 2 sales randomly here and there. Now, do I really think I can outwork ChatGPT in the long term? Well, I think we both know how unlikely that is. See you later, superstar.